Regular viewers will know that part of our Bill and Ted Time Machine phone booth was built using plastic pieces that were compatible with Lego, but weren't actually made by Lego.
Witchcraft?
Far from it, Gigi. And I thought it would be good to explore this more deeply. There's a bunch of companies out there that create sets using similar and compatible pieces to Lego's system.
That's right, there's GoBricks, for instance, who get most of their pieces from a Chinese company called, Quandary.
And frankly, if this had been our first experience with alternative bricks, we probably wouldn't have ventured further.
How so?
Oh, they have fun and interesting builds, don't get me wrong, but the parts just didn't feel quite right, if you know what I mean. But thankfully, our first stop beyond Lego took us to GoBricks,
when they used to be called Fun Hole.
Man, I did enjoy making fun of that company name. Embarrassing original names aside, I found the bricks they used to be virtually identical to Legos.
There's a very slight difference, which people who handle Lego pieces constantly would likely notice. True, but overall, aside from one type not having any branding plastered all over them, you'd be hard-pressed to tell them apart.
And just like GoBricks, GoBricks don't produce most of their pieces, but source them from another Chinese company called GoBricks.
And would you believe that just like Lego, you can order individual pieces from GoBricks directly by going to buygobricks.com.
One of the reasons this is interesting is the cost. Parts can be substantially cheaper, making what is undoubtedly an expensive hobby something more affordable.
And when every corn counts, a cheaper hobby is most welcome.
So, I thought I'd show you how to order from GoBricks, how that can save you a bunch of money, and what other advantages come with veering away from Lego.
So what are we waiting for?
Let's go shopping!
Right, first of all, you need to know one very cool and highly useful decision GoBricks have made. The ID code for their pieces matches the ones Lego and Brinkley use themselves.
Here, have a look. Let's hop on over to Brinklink for a sec and do a search for a 2x3 brick.
As you can see, the number for it is 3002.
Now, slide on over to GoBricks.com, click on its search field, type 3002, and there's the 2x3 brick for you to pick, which is worth 14 cents per piece.
That's actually cheaper than on Lego's website, where a similar piece will cost you 17 cents.
So that's about 25% cheaper.
For that particular part, yes. Other reductions are greater or lesser. But what's also interesting is the color availability. Look at Lego. They currently offer that brick in 20 colors, whereas GoBricks have a choice of 60.
To order a part, click on the color you need, type in the number you want, and click on Add to Cart.
Nice and easy.
Hey, regarding those colors, you do know Brinklink have way more choices than Lego do, right?
True, since many individual sellers would still have inventory in colors Lego no longer make for that part. But then you have to deal with multiple sellers to get all the pieces you need, and don't forget all the postage and shipping costs associated with that.
Yeah, I love Brinklink, but all that postage can be crippling.
But there's a huge advantage with Brinklink, though. If you design the model using the Studio app, you can send the part list automatically to your Brinklink account, which will then find all the sellers you need to get the entire inventory. You don't have to manually tap what you want piece by piece.
Unless you want to.
Yeah, of course. Unless you're that big of a nerd.
Well, actually, McCluck, you can make full use of Studio to export a parts list, which will be compatible with GoBricks too.
Okay, let's use Bill and Ted's phone booth as an example. Okay, so here's the virtual model in Studio. To create a compatible file, let's go to File, Export as Parts List.
With that done, let's go back to GoBricks and click on the Bulk Order tool in the page's top menu. Click on Browse for File. Look at the one you've just exported from Studio, and after a few seconds, all available parts are displayed, ready for you to add to your basket with the click of a button.
Not all parts are available, mind.
True, but that would also be the case were you to source parts from Lego or Brinklink. Actually, if you click on the Not Available button, you'll find which ones are missing, and then you can just copy their numbers and purchase them somewhere else.
You might see that some have a substitution button to their right. Click on it to see the part GoBricks thinks would work as an alternative, and in our case, these are the correct pieces, only with a different part number.
Also, you can see that the available parts only cost $3.86, which It's really cheap.
Well, we can't really compare the cost with Bricklink or Lego Mine since there are missing pieces.
Right you are, McCluck. So let's use the parts from another model that we're currently working on. Okay. As you can see, we can grab all of them from GoBricks. No substitutions, no issues with unavailability.
Cool, and that model will cost $10.83.
Right, so let's take a trip to Lego. Thankfully, you can upload the exact same list we exported from Studio there too. And here as well, all the pieces are available, which lets us see that the exact same parts will cost us $17.16.
So GoBricks is roughly 37% cheaper than Lego.
And not only that, GoBricks offer you discounts the more you buy. If your order exceeds $160, you get 5% off. $360, that's 10%. And $800 or more, you get 15% off.
Nice. And actually, if your order is less than any of those, you can still get 3% off the total anyway.
Very cool. Although it's not an automatic savings, you need to type in a code at checkout.
Which is why we're mentioning it here. Make sure you get the discount you're owed when you place your own order, folks. And it's not just the cost or the color choices, guys. You can also get parts in colors that are rare or even non-existent in the Lego world.
Yeah! What's grayish white or milky white, for instance?
But there's something even better. You know those very useful toe ball and socket pieces which are used for articulations?
Oh yeah, they're so useful to create complex models like trees. Except it sucks they're only available in light or dark gray. I mean, what the hell, Lego? Trees aren't gray.
Well, they claim it's because other colors aren't as sturdy and would break over time.
Well, whether it's true or not, it sucks.
Well, if that pisses you off, McCluck,
you know it does.
You'll be happy to learn that GoBricks laugh at part rigidity. Let's do a quick search on their site, say part number 2736, a Technic Assel toe ball. Just look at all the colors it's available in. 47 in all. And take part number 14418 as another example, a modified 1x2 plate with a toe ball socket at one end. That one's available in 55 colors.
Wow! No more ugly colors when designing colorful mechs.
Definitely worth checking out, especially if you're building more of a display model so you don't need to use the articulation once it's set. You know, in case Lego happened to be right.
Nice. So what's the downside then? There's gotta be downsides, right?
Well, you could say having an aversion to using non-Lego bricks in your builds is a downside, but I think the quality and price of these pieces should really help you get over that issue.
Especially if you're on a tight budget.
But perhaps the biggest hurdle, especially at the moment, is the fact that you can't add more than 100 different pieces in a single order.
Only 100 parts per order? What the hell?
To be clear, you could order over 1,000 pieces of a particular part, say a 2x3 brick in yellow, and 1,000 2x3 bricks in green. That's fine, as that would count as 2 types of bricks. But when you design a complex model with hundreds of different bricks and pieces, you'll need to break down your list into multiples of 100.
That's a real damn pain. So you mean you'd end up with multiple postage and packing costs as well?
It's not as bad as it sounds. First of all, if your order exceeds $69, you get free shipping.
How does that work when you have multiple orders, as you just said we'd have to do?
Well, you can email them as soon as you've placed all your orders and inform them of the situation. They'll happily combine your orders together for you and refund any shipping you may have paid, which you didn't need to.
Oh, right. Okay, well, at least their service is good.
It is indeed. And as I said, the part quality is practically indistinguishable from Lego, and some parts are available in colors Lego will never provide.
Lots of good points.
So tell us, would you consider purchasing your parts from a compatible non-Lego provider? Have you ordered from GoBricks yourself? Do you order from other companies? Do let us know what you think in the comments, and if you like what we do,
and how we do it,
and you feel you'd like to help us out,
please hit the join button and become a channel member.
Or consider joining our Patreon instead.
And if you'd like to support us but can't manage yet another subscription, you can always buy us a coffee.
We'll leave a link to it down in the description. Thanks for watching, and we'll see you again next time. But that would also be the case were you to source parts from Lego or Brinklink.
Have you ever thought of buying stuff from Brinklink?
Brinklink, you say? I myself only buy stuff from Brinklink.
Mais bien sûr, anyone who is anyone will buy their things from Brinklink. If you have things to sell online, just bring it to Brinklink.
I don't think I've ever heard of Brinklink. Do you mean Bricklink?